Hello once again, fellow Flight Sim fans. I just wanted to post a quick update to my Flight Sim project, my home cockpit project. Last week I finally received the Honeycomb Bravo throttle unit, throttle quadrant. After 3 months on back order, but it's finally here. It required only a little bit of fiddling to get it into the hole I'd prepared for it. It was a little bit wider than the hole. It was, oddly enough, the dimensions on this are just ever so slightly different than the dimensions on the Alpha yoke controller by just a few fractions of a millimeter, or a millimeter or so. It's a little different, but so I made the holes the same when I first cut out the panel. But this was a little bit bigger. But I got it in and hooked up, and it's all working and configured in Microsoft Flight Sim with all its different profiles for the different handles. This is, of course, the Bravo that comes with the different swappable handles. I have here kind of a twin jet model that doesn't have it's not complex. So for like a twin fighter, or even a twin. The Diamond Twin that doesn't have additional throttle or engine controls. So in this configuration I have the speed brake and 2 throttles and the flap controller, and then 2 unassigned controllers. It does include the general aviation controls for prop and mixture, and of course the airliner style controls, throttle controls with reverse thrusters. And then I've also been experimenting with some 3D printed add-on parts for flap preset positioners. A 3 position and a 7 position, even though I realize that I don't think I fly a plane that has that. And then I have a 4 position preset for your typical small GA, like a lot of the small Cessnas have that, with the latcher. And then it's just the gravity drop-in. I didn't do the printed one. These I found from FlapModster, another Russ Barlow contribution to the community. Those have been nice. I definitely like being able to reach over and feel where the flap is and put it into a preset position without having to wonder where it is and just using the toggle. That's fine, but the fixed position is very nice. And then I've also added on the ribbed trim wheel for a more traditional feel that I'm used to from the small Cessnas that I trained with. And that's been nice. Makes it a little bit easier on the trim. The other addition I've put in since the last tour video was the DIY Knobster with the rotary encoder, the dual rotary encoder with the button for controlling Air Manager. And that works great. So at this point, my main controls are complete, and I've been flying with it, and it's been working quite nicely. I would like to experiment more with some additional button panels, and now that I have the Bravo controller that has autopilot controls and additional switches, and all kinds of other things that I had been using buttons for, like the flaps, the gear, and of course the autopilot, I can now eliminate a lot of these extra buttons that I've been using for aircraft controls. I don't need, obviously, this top 4 or these top 8 buttons I don't need. Most of the autopilot I can probably replace, although I do like having them here, and it's almost like having the G1000 vertical controls that you find between the 2 panels. And then most of these buttons are probably going to turn into simulator control buttons, like a number panel and other buttons for doing ATC, which I right now only can do from the keyboard, which I don't like having to have next to me. I also use some of the buttons on the secondary joystick for that, but there's only 3, so it's not quite flexible enough. So I'll probably reprogram the keyboard for buttons, for number keypad for the ATC controls, now that I don't need a bunch of the aircraft controls. So that's the update on the home flight sim project. Thanks for watching.